Welcome back to our latest edition of the McKinney Minute. I am Lisa Hermes, and I am joined, as always, by our community impact editor, Shelby Hamilton, who's going to give us the scoop on some of the headlines that are going to be in community impact in our next edition. All right, let's get into it. McKinney to pilot a new downtown parking management signs. We all know parking in downtown.
Yeah.
There's parking there. It's always just trying to find the parking. So tell us what this new program is going to be about.
Yes, so they talked about this at a recent council meeting. This is phase one of this initiative. So it could be, we're starting off small, could grow. But if you've ever been to a parking lot and you've driven in and seen on a sign, this is exactly how many spots are available. It's kind of what we're going to be seeing at a few specific lots in downtown. They're adding the signs to two parking lots. One that is unrestricted, meaning, no time limit. One that's restricted, and those are on South Kentucky and Cloyd Streets. And then they're also adding it at the Chestnut parking garage. And the kind of part of the initiative is to encourage use of that parking garage. So those two signs in the parking lots will display the number of spots available, and then when they're full, they'll direct drivers to that parking garage.
Okay.
So it's about a $105,000 project. It's coming from the TERS 1 funding, that tax increment reinvestment district. And the approval was for $150,000 in the event that they need to get a better sign or they need some extra funding for it. But they're predicting about $105,000 in installation in the next 3-ish months.
Okay.
And then we could see additional phases once they kind of establish baselines for how much parking and capacity those lots have.
Yeah. No, I think I love that at the airport when I used to drive around trying to find a spot, and now you can see how many spots are open. So that's going to be great. Absolutely. And I saw that the city council also voted recently to expand the TERS district. Mm-hmm. So more money coming in for projects like this. That's great. All right, so back to McKinney ISD and on the theme of trying to find money to keep up with some of the mandates coming down through the state. So tell us about our school board and staff are discussing how are they going to address the cost to comply with the state's mandated seatbelt bill.
Yes, so this was another mandate that came through without dedicated funding from the last legislature. That was SB 546, and it's mandating that all district-owned and operated buses have a 3-point seatbelt. And what that looks like for MISD specifically is they have 171 buses. 38 of them are not in compliance. Okay. So they have until 2029, September of 2029, to comply. So a number of years to get there. But the TEA is asking, or recently asked, districts across Texas to report what their compliance level would look like for that and what funding they may need. And that's what the board was talking about then. It looks like for MISD, it's going to cost about $6 million if they were to replace all the buses that aren't in compliance.
Okay.
It only costs about $1.2 million if they were just to retrofit those buses.
Okay.
Either way, district staff is saying that they don't have that funding without impacting current operations. Okay. So they reported that to the TEA. That deadline was in late May. So we are looking and waiting for an update from the TEA to see if they're going to offer some grant opportunities or any funding to support those school districts, or what may come next as far as getting some funding across Texas and in MISD to meet that mandate.
Yeah, because that's just MISD's estimated cost.
Yes.
So I can imagine with over 1,000 school districts in the state of Texas, this could be quite expensive.
Very, yeah.
All right, this is an exciting headline that's coming out. So as we know, Globe Life relocated their headquarters. They're actually next door to us in Craig Ranch. So Craig International has announced a $200 million mixed-use project for the former Globe Life headquarters.
Yes.
Share.
Yes.
What are the plans? What are the details?
Our newest big mixed-use project in McKinney. It's about a $200 million project. Craig International won that through a request for qualifications process with Globe Life to bring some new uses to that site. It's looking like they're going to retain the office that's on there. It's a couple 100,000 square feet. And then we're going to see some additional uses added, potentially in the multifamily realm, restaurant, retail, as well as some outdoor spaces, some hike and bike trails. So we've seen some additional announcements on what that may look like. We don't have details yet on when that may move forward. But that site over there by the HEB is going to look a little bit different going forward once that project is underway.
Yeah, you mentioned it's by HEB. Can you kind of give us a...
Yes, yeah, it's a little bit tucked back if you haven't driven back in there, but it's right across El Dorado from that HEB, kind of in that little Stonebridge, Custer, El Dorado pocket.
Perfect. Yeah. So exciting things happening there for sure.
Absolutely.
Nonprofit world, we've got some announcements.
Yes.
So the nonprofit clinic Common Good Medical is to relocate and launch Common Good Thrift Store in McKinney. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so Common Good Medical over in East McKinney, right off of downtown, has been doing their work in that kind of faith-based medical services space for a while now. And they've been growing in their current space. It's about 4,000 square feet, and they've reached their capacity. And that's really due to increased demand. They're looking to serve more people and both in medical services and bring in more volunteers. So they're moving to a space right across 75, still McKinney, just off of Virginia, and it's going to be about 9,000 square feet. That move is also going to accommodate them adding some services. They're adding a space for dental, they're adding a space for imaging, so they're going to be able to do more in that space. And then the other part of their expansion at a different location later this year, they're launching Common Good Thrift. So that's going to be their social enterprise arm, and that's serving a couple purposes for them. Obviously, that revenue going back to support clinic operations, but also a lot of their volunteer roles, because it is a medical service, require either medical experience and training, or maybe a longer time commitment. So this Common Good Thrift venture is going to open up some volunteer opportunities for people that are looking for maybe a little less time commitment, don't have that medical training, or just really interested in serving in like a thrift store setting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's exciting that we have organizations like Common Good Medical and Common Good Thrift, but it's sad to hear that the demand is high. So, but we have people that are working hard to fill that gap. Okay. Last and certainly not least is our fun section, because lots of businesses opening. Tell us what's coming to McKinney.
Yeah, we've got some fun ones. Some recently opened. C3 Wellness over by that HEB area opened quite recently. That's a spa type business that opened in April. The Empress House opened in downtown in April as well. That's a Mahjong studio and social club. Very pretty. Another one in East
Popular. Mahjong is very popular. Yes.
Very popular, very trending right now.
Yes.
Hot and trending. We love it. Lello's Coffee Co. opened in East McKinney. That's on the Tupps Brewery property. They're like a coffee stand, kind of espresso stand right now. They have some future plans for expansion for a cafe setting, but they have some great espresso drinks and specialty drinks. Some coming soons, the former space of Hugs Cafe in downtown is going to see a pasta market. So Luso Pasta and Market is coming down there. They'll have some fresh pasta as well as some pantry staples for sale in September. Hugs Cafe did move out of that space. They are moving into their new space in early July, just behind the Tupps Brewery property at their new headquarters. Some other interesting coming soons off of 121, AC Hotel McKinney, and the restaurant on site there, which is Good and Proper Wood-Fired Grill, is slated to open in mid-October. So that's going to be, a 5-story hotel with a nice upscale restaurant on the 5th floor, new for McKinney. And then just up the street in our neighbor Frisco, Universal Kids Frisco did open July 1st. So worth the trip if you've got some little ones interested in Universal.
Yeah, just down the road. Well, thank you, Shelby. As always, we appreciate community impact, being in the community and reporting on all the latest things that are affecting our city. So thanks for stopping by today.
Thank you.
As always, if you want more information about the headlines that Shelby referenced, they are located down below in the comment section, all the links to those articles. And we will see you next month.